hills and build them high. Makes a long time climbing before I die. I want the chance to spit in his eye. Well, they gave me bars, but I can see between to a dusty yard and a long gone green. They call that freedom, if you know what I mean. And I dry my sorrows, but the whiskey's gone. I'm sober as good.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Shortbangers. I'm Matty, joined tonight by Colin and John. How you doing, guys? Quiet,
normally,
good.
You normally pitch this to one of us, and now you've left it hanging. So
I thought we'd been at this game long enough now that I could do that, and you could just go with it rather than
strictly amateur.
Aye. So confused is the answer to the question. And how are you doing? I'm confused, Matty. I'm
all right. I'm all right.
Are you all right?
I've got a couple of days off my work, so I'm in a good mood, and I'm not back to work till next Thursday. So
that's decent.
Good.
Decent.
You got the Sky Q lined up, or is that the recording function? What's the recording function called? Or just record?
Aye, Sky Q's the box, I think, but it all just goes in the. It's just like your Sky Planner still. Just I don't know. Right. Mate. I've got. Well, the kids are off till. I think they're off on Monday as well. So Tuesday, Wednesday, I've got to myself.
Do you still call it taping something off the tail? I still taped it.
Do I? Yep.
Do you know years back they had it was Video Plus? There was like a fucking barcode or like
a number. It used to be in the paper
number.
In the brackets.
Aye.
I always missed the end or the start.
Was that the thing that was in like the Radio Times where you could like input a code?
It was in the paper. It was just
it was in the newspaper as well.
In the Sun, if you went in the Sun TV listings, you would get like about 10 digit, 12 digits long. Tap in 54321 and that, and it would go and record fucking Big Break or something on Saturday night. That's how old it was.
10 digits long. 54321.
Aye, 543 twice. I just didn't know what to
right. Get some questions on the go. Right, 25 minutes on the clock. First question for Raymond. Right, metric time measurement 1 to 100. 24 hours would be 100. 12 p.m. would be 50. 6 a.m. 25. Minutes would be 0.6. So 0605 would be 2503. Completely pointless, but well worth listening to you all try to work it out. So
he's right. I mean, his calculations are spot on.
Aye. Well, who do you think came up with the current system?
God, was it no God? I don't know. I'm not sure. But
I think he just did the timings. Like assuming you accept if we went there, that's what happened. He would have went, that can spin round the big fucking orange thing. That'll take that long to do it. And then somebody must have went, but how would they have timed it in the first place? Because they've not got a watch to time it.
Yeah. God gave us his only begotten son so that we could have a 24-hour clock. Is that what we're saying?
Question.
Maybe they did it.
Raymond, tell Raymond that's a better question. Who fucking timed it in the first place?
Aye, who timed it? Because maybe they went, right, I'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, and counted up. And then
who made the numbers up though? Who made one come before two?
Well, that's language. I think that's language, though, isn't that? So you'd always have multiple. You'd always say that's. It wouldn't necessarily be called one because you maybe German for a start.
Right? Aye. Remember?
Aye.
I think it was the Arabs that came up with zero. Like before, I know this sounds daft, but it was something that was covered in my cybersecurity course. There was like before. Like we just take zero for granted, but zero didn't always exist.
Interesting. Was that to do with
and
binary
stuff? Yeah.
Right. And I says a better one would be just 360 degrees. Now I can get on board with this one. AM and PM is two separate rotations of 360. So 180 degrees would be 6 AM or PM 40 would be about 2.
I think the number system had to be invented before you could then start recording stuff. So, and I think it's got to do with the amount of time that it takes for the Earth to orbit the Sun, or the Sun to orbit the Earth. I can't remember which it is, or the Moon, or whichever it is. It's part of the lunar cycle, I'm sure.
What the degrees?
Does that answer any of the questions?
No, you're just vaguely telling us.
Just the original question. So you had to have a number system in order to calculate how long something took, or to be able to apply a logic to it. And then afterward, like everything falls after that. But the only reason that the clock isn't 360 minutes or 360 degrees already is because it is determined by something else. It's completely separate. So you can't just go, well, it's 360 degrees.
A clock is 360 degrees.
Well, it's,
like
well, you could still, the clock could still be 360, or
no digital one,
360.
obviously, but
it could still be, but the minutes would have to be adjusted accordingly. So if it was to move however many degrees, say it was 1 degree, 1 minute, the degree would have to, how do I put this?
so no, a degree isn't it? But you're not doing a degree per minute. So
90
basically,
degrees is 3 o'clock, eh?
basically, it's like you're monitoring where the small hand is on the clock. Is where that if you use that system, so 90 degrees would be 3 o'clock.
Yep.
Right. So it's where the wee hand would be if you were taking that. So minutes would be trickier. There's a lot of.
So that's what I'm saying. Like the minutes would be trickier because you're like the movement of the hand on this clock that's 360 degrees or 360 minutes or whatever it happens to be is different from our understanding of time and the way it's recorded at the moment.
But we didn't. Why do you need minutes though? Like, really?
You just
know what I mean?
do
Like,
away
how
with
often? Aye. Aye. Well, why do you need them? Like, generally, see if you're going to meet somebody, do you ever say, I'll meet you at 7 minutes past 9?
No, that'd be the
Or
back
do you
of
say
night.
quarter past, half past, 1:45? There's only 4 minutes you need, I think. You ever hear Frank Skinner? He talks about not being constrained by the 15s or something like that. So
Right.
he'll not set his alarm for quarter past or half past. It's like he'll set it for like 6:04 or 6:06 in the morning because he'll say, no, why should I be? Why are you making me follow this rule?
It's arbitrary rule.
That's a good question though. Like why are there trains that leave at 6:27 or buses that depart at 4:14?
But did they ever
What's the
depart
point?
from the beginning at that time? The beginning of the route? Or is that just because en route it'll take them 14 minutes to get somewhere? They
Aye,
left at
but-
4 a.m. They got to your bit at 4:14.
They do, but that's because they can't all leave at the same time, just for
That's true.
logistics.
That's just, yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's
Again,
why.
it's an
And
interesting-
then the bus stops are now all equidistant, so that they can't arrive at a precise quarter past or.
So is
half
that why we
past.
need minutes to answer Colin's question?
So we can get the bus.
So the
Aye.
buses didn't all leave at the same time. But surely, somebody could just stand and go, right, you next, like the fucking boys and the road workers do. Rather than once they've dug a hole and stand there, they stand there in direct cars rather than actually fucking fixing whatever it is they've dug a hole for. They
think
just
when
stand in direct traffic.
I think when the buses
Yeah.
were privatised, the Tories laid that guy off.
Okay.
What guy?
The guy that directed the buses out. Right, it's you.
Is it? What happened?
All right. William says, when you open a yogurt or anything else with a peel back foil and it doesn't come off in one complete bit, how annoyed do you get on a scale of Alan McGregor rage with the wee bit stuck to the carton?
It's not really something that I didn't really bother that much. I'm quite low on the McGregor scale here.
Do you know what puzzles me about those things? Like, so I've not got an issue with the yogurt when it peels back, because generally speaking, like with your Miller corners, the wee bit that gets left behind, you can usually just go in and get it, or it doesn't interfere with your yogurt eating pleasure. But see if you were to get like a pasta bake or a lasagna or something, it's got like, and you read the instructions, you
Tells
kinda
you
look
peel
at it
back
upside
the
down,
lid.
take off the cardboard sleeve, and then you take off the lid, and then you're left with like wee bits of plastic that refuse to come off.
Aye.
Does that interfere with your dinner when you've got it in the oven? Are you getting
So I think the issue here, John, is that
superheated carcinogens in your lasagna?
you're buying, just make your own. Like, why are you buying shit like that? Just make your own.
Sometimes you just get the hand in it. It's the whole fucking the whole point of them is no. You might not have hours to make there. I don't know what it takes hours to make a lasagna, but
I don't know if I'd call it an
Sometimes.
ambition, but I do aspire to make a lasagna.
lasagna's
One of my
easy to
best
make.
dishes.
Aye.
One of my best dishes in this house. Aye.
Of course it is. That's why you're giving me a hard time about it. You're going to get me round for a cooking lesson.
I'll show you how to do it.
I made
Colin
a-
does Nigella.
I made a raw macaroni cheese tonight. That was good.
Aye.
Wee bit left for the morning as well.
I wouldn't buy anything like that if I was buying, like going to come in your Tesco and you go, oh fuck, I never took any mince or that out for tea last night. I wouldn't go in and buy. I wouldn't buy like a
Oh, we
pre-packed
did sometimes.
pasta.
I'm no fucking bothered. Every now and again, some of them are all right. The curries are quite
Aye.
nice. Again, like the Tesco,
Mm.
like a tikka masala or a madras out of there is
Yeah.
it's decent. It's no takeaway standard, like. And but I'm not very good at making a curry like that. My curries aren't that bro. So I'd rather buy a curry if I was doing that.
See, I do all the cooking in here, so I plan it for the week what we're having. So when we do the shop, which is like again, it's this foreign land to you, Matthew, but I plan out for the week and we do the shop. The shop arrives on a Thursday, comes every week at the same time on a Thursday lunchtime, and I've already planned out on the Wednesday what we're having on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So I'll go, oh, I need to get that, I need to get this, and then so I'm generally not on a nip into Tesco at 8 o'clock,
Aye.
and grabbing a pack of lasagna.
I'm more spontaneous.
I
boring.
feel like I've had a lecture of my dad. Didn't be buying that shit, son.
Kid, the main
Make
annoying
it
thing
fresh.
with a yogurt, it's as annoying when there's a bit of the lid sticks to it. When you open it and you forgot to turn it the other way and open it like facing away from you, and you get bits of yogurt on your t-shirt.
Look like you've
Yeah.
just on yourself.
Aye. Which is annoying because if you want to just use your finger to catch it, you didn't care if you've got a bit of your edges. You've been there for earlier. So, right. WTC 1981 says, how many feet high should they build the gallows for folk who scrape their knife back into the butter tub with all their crumbs? It says 15's not high enough.
Big pet hate of mine, that.
My daughter's moaning at that all the time. Like, if it's actually not happened so much since my son's moved it.
Oh, well,
That's weird, eh? Aye, that's weird. But it's not bothering me that much.
Nah, so would you use that bit of butter again?
No, I'd probably just move it to kind of scrape those wee bits out and just deal
So
with them.
who's using it? Would you? You can't, but so you're just chucking a bit of butter away because somebody's lazy as fuck.
Is it really that bad? Like, it's not like someone has been licking the crumbs. Like, it's just come off a fresh bit of toast.
Aye. So you then scoop that bit out and chuck it in your sauce for your lasagna,
Aye.
white
Or your
sauce.
or your baked potato.
Is that all right? Aye.
Add a wee bit of texture to your pie. A wee bit of crunch.
Breadcrumb flavour.
Wee bit of wholemeal. Multi-sauce.
My father-in-law used to get pissed off at folk going in the butter, like in the middle, and like hoiking it out. He was a very much a level scrape the knife across it. So obviously, any time out for dinner, I would just go boom right in the middle. Even though that isn't what I do, but I just knew it pissed him off, so I used to just fucking do
it. Susie 47062 said, how long do you give your dog to shite in the piss and rain before giving up?
I'm quite fortunate here because my dog hates the rain, so she will go out, have a shite, and run straight back in, or take her out if you're taking her out the front. I'll not even get to the end of the driveway at the front, and she'll be on the wee patch of grass at the front having a shite because she's like, get me back in. Hates the rain.
John, what about Murphy?
Aye, Murphy's pretty good for that as well. Like, if it's pissing down, he kind of looks outside. He's not quite keen, but he knows that he's got his routine and he knows what he's going outside to do. And usually the last walk at night is just out to the grass nearby, so he doesn't even get around like the wee loop. He's maybe like halfway along, squats back indoors.
So apparently dogs don't like the rain, not because they're wet, but because of the noise.
Is that right?
Apparently that's the thing, because their hearing's that sensitive. When it rains, everything's amplified.
I've got to try and trick her out in the morning for her morning pee and that. I had that before. I think I told you before. I don't know if I said it on here, but I opened the back door like really late while she's standing ready to go. Because if it's open, she can see it. So opened the door. She would put pause on the step at the back and done a 180 straight back round and back in. Because she said, "You're a fucking prick. It's raining. I'm coming back in." So she's fucking hates it. Never liked it.
Bailey did that the other morning. It was raining, so we'd be able to open the back door just behind me. And normally I go out in the garden first, and he comes out after us, unless he's really busted. He bolts it first thing in the morning. So I've come down, let him out his crate, come through, seen it's raining, chucked my jacket on, and it was fucking torrential rain as well. Opened the door, I wandered out. He had a look and just stood where he was at the back door, but inside it pished on the floor, looking at me and making eye contact as well. Just going, look at you daft prick, standing out in the rain. So that was annoying because then I was soaked and I had pish to clean up. So, right, duck chat. Right. Fattest Picky said, if Sticky Vicky, her from Benidorm with the Magic Fanny, is her nickname, does that mean her full name is Sticktoria Victoria? I'm going to say definitely yes.
Let's go with that.
Definitely
The
yes.
late Victoria. To
I
give
don't
her
know.
a full
Aye.
name.
Are we? I really like the phrase "magic fanny," but I'm not sure how much we're allowed to talk about it. Can you call it like an illusionist vagina? Was it Victoria?
Is
An
that what
illusionist vagina?
where you said it's like a wizard's sleeve would be like appropriate?
Aye. That's where the Viz comes in.
Aye. Fattest Bricky said it's been nearly 30 years since Jimmy Nail sung that song about the Lady Lion. Did he ever find love or learn to trust someone?
Fuck, it will be about that, eh? Aye.
Aye.
Is Jimmy
Is that
Nail
Ain't
still
No Doubt?
alive?
Aye.
I think so. I think so.
Would he be? You'd assume it would be in the paper if he died, eh? Or is he
Definitely.
kind of slipped that far down the celebrity lists?
He was in a Viddy's in Pet. Viddy's in Pet still famous enough to get a mention, I think.
Aye. He was sort of, because what was it Crocodile Shoes or something? Was that what he did when he...
That was his other song. That was the other song that I know.
Aye.
That was the only other song I could think of when he said that one.
Because he was sort of considered like a bit of like attractive.
Lady Killer.
I know that we would talk about kind of folks' appearance and everything, but I was always baffled by that one. You go, fucking Jimmy Nail, what? No, that.
It's a big skinny guy with a broken nose and sort of curly hair, eh? Long
Aye.
hair. It's a bit weird.
An
She's
acquired
lying.
taste, maybe.
Aye. I will say. We'll say he did. Let's go for a happy ending on that one. So he did learn to love and trust somebody. Andrew said, "You're wrongly convicted of a crime. Everyone you know thinks you're guilty. 3 years for tax evasion or 3 months for stealing knickers off washing lines." I guess that's what you would rather be. I'd take 3 months.
I think I would as well.
Prison looks shite.
Yeah.
What would be
Nope.
your justification for when you tell folk that it's a wrongful conviction? Because presumably you're going for the 3 months because it's less than 3 years. But how do you explain to folk? I was nicking knickers, but there's a reason why.
It was a dare or a bet or something. Eh?
Aye.
You'd have to, because
I'm a
the tax
rampant
evasion's-
pervert.
Aye, exactly. I like smelling them. But only when they're clean. Only when they're clean.
Do you think if you were to like try and style out like that, actually, I've got a wee bit of a problem. Like I really like sniffing underwear fresh off the line. Like your
Aye, you
mates
work
would
with
probably
her to
piss
support
themselves
you in
laughing at it.
That's the
Aye.
thing. Your work would be likely to support you with that one, right, and put you through some kind of rehab. Whereas tax evasion and my line of work, your line of work, probably not ideal.
Aye.
Aye,
So-
I've been.
So I probably that 3 months. But also, the wife's had the COVID for the week, and she's been in the room for a week. She's totally stir crazy. So I'm thinking, if you're only in the room for a week, and you're like that, imagine doing 3 months.
Aye. Did you watch that Time? Is it called Time on BBC with Sean Bean and Stephen Graham?
Aye, Stephen Graham did.
Aye. Like I say, that looks shite, didn't it? Like prison looks shite. I thought,
Yeah.
fuck
That's
that.
why there must be so many fights. You're sitting in that room 23 hours a day or whatever. You get an hour of walking around the garden, and like you're just building up aggression the whole 23 hours you're in there.
Aye.
I suppose.
When you come out, you just go and knock somebody out.
I suppose, like with 3 months as well, there's every chance that you'll get a reduced sentence. So you might only be in there for 1 month, and 1 month's quite a nice wee break. I think, regardless of where you are.
And you'd have some knickers to sell to other inmates as well for kinks. Tracy Smith says, "Have you ever fallen asleep on your other half midway through a conversation?"
I'm glad you finished.
There was a deliberate pause. When the notification comes through for that one, you know, when your phone puts on your lock screen, and you get like a bit of the tweet. I'm sure that is a bit that I saw. If you ever fallen asleep on your other half, I'm going to wonder where Tracy's gone with this question. And then, midway through a conversation, I've had it the other way around. Again, I tend to, if I was doing something like that, and I know I should admit it, but it would be on purpose. It would make it look accidental. I would just shut my eyes and pretend long enough until it actually happened. But it's definitely gone the other way. Like I've been halfway through a conversation, and fuck's sake.
Do you even get listened to in a conversation sometimes? Kind of she's on her phone or watching something on the telly. Or does it seem in my house? I wasn't sure if it was just me. So I'm feeling better now that you're
No.
agreeing.
But if it goes the other way around, I get grief for it. See, I'll just dismiss it because I go, sometimes I do that, so I can fair fuck say I'm not gonna moan about it. But if it's if I do that, it's the fucking worst thing. Oh, you're addicted to your phone and all. Every cunt's addicted to their phone. You're just off yours.
Is that enough?
I put my phone down more than anybody in the house. It's like actual factual. See, if we're watching something on the telly, I put it to one side, and then I'll watch what's on the telly.
And you've now got that thing on. I noticed when you try to send a text, it says he's got his notifications silenced or something.
Like after.
So I need to press the thing to say fucking ignore it. So it still goes through.
Was it anyway? Aye. After 9 o'clock, mine's because I'm quite happy. No, but I need everybody getting in touch with me at that time for like so if I'm looking at my phone, I'll answer. But if I'll be watching something on TV or wanting a wee bit downtime, I'll just put my phone at one side and then that's it. Then I'll get fine once in your text. So up the stair. Can I be doing with the dog? Phone's in another room. That's why. Anyway, John, you ever fallen asleep? Well, no, I guess you have fallen asleep. Have you ever fallen asleep mid-conversation?
Hundreds of times, but
Probably cunts done it now. Listen to this. They're like,
I think your fear about that question about having fallen asleep on someone, I've never done that, but I've had a partner who once fell asleep while giving me a hand job.
Did you grab her hand?
Just keep it going.
No.
Is it like rigor mortis, or does it just drift away?
It was just kind of that like sort of like relaxing in the grip. I was like, well, that's no fun. That was weird.
Colin?
Oh, definitely. I mean, dozing. I'm quite a bad one for after dinner. Starting like if you're sitting down having a wee doze, and usually she'll be saying something about her work, and I
hope she watches his bag so she can see this.
She's well worn not to watch any of this shit. Her brother will grass me though. He'll be fucking phoning her in the morning.
Straight away, yeah.
Grassing bastard. But I do but I try and cover it up because I realise you're doing it. You think I'm not fucking paying attention here. My eyes must be glazed over and that. But sometimes they're just on a rant, so you just need to be a good pretend listener. Right? So I definitely have. You had
a tip for this, John, didn't you? For the pretend listening, which was explain that to me again. Was it? Is that like
it was.
How do you mean?
You sort of asked them inquisitively. How do you mean? What do you mean? And I want to get them to explain it twice. The unfortunate thing was that my voice was that loud when I was saying this on the podcast that my wife picked up, and she gave me bellers for it. Every fucking time.
She was still listening to the hand job bit then.
I said a partner, I never said my wife. Just in case my wife was listening.
FM Edinburgh said that if snow is cold, how do you get snowburns?
Well, is that not like, I don't know how it works, but there's a thing, obviously, right? That's why I'm on here and no fucking famous scientist or something. But see when you've got like warts or anything like that,
and they freeze them off.
They're frozen off, aren't they?
Aye.
So there must be a thing, like when it must get to a certain degree temperature that burns you off. Because I had a wart years ago. It was under my ear, like under my, like if you flap the lobe up, and it was there, and that's you went into Lauriston.
Is that your on-off switch?
And it was just used to just like that. They brought this like fucking box suit, and like it was like this. Was
it the big like silver canister?
Aye,
like almost like a flask.
And the frozen ice sort of stuff comes out at like you're at Century 2000 or something. And they put the smoke on. It was like that, and then they just touch your ear and it burns it off. Then it just
it's liquid nitrogen in it, which is weird because I think I've seen experiments where someone's like plunged their hand into the liquid nitrogen and it comes out and it's absolutely fine, but then they do something like that where it's like a concentrated amount, and it does burn. But there is something weird about like extreme cold where it burns. But it must be like it's a different kind of burn from a heat-based burn,
and
like fire or hot water or whatever.
See if you've got a snow burn, do you think you like pour hot water over it to? Can you put cold water on
boiling water?
Yeah, you would. You would, because if heat
it back up.
You would have to heat. It's like if you got hypothermia. You're like folk who go out and get the extreme kind of they're kicking about the Antarctic or Arctic circle and they get the frostbite, then you would have to warm it up. It's their fingers are getting the ice burn, but you would have to heat them up to if you think about it, you're just reversing the damage that's been done. So if your skin's too hot, you put cold in it to cool down. And I suppose
you couldn't put boiling kettle over it. You couldn't.
No, aye, it would go the other way. I think if you had it one extreme and then the other one, I think it just cracks off. I would imagine.
The white wine, red wine thing. Like
that's what I'm thinking. But I think your body's only designed to operate within certain temperatures. So if you come into contact that's one extreme or the other, it's going to do some damage. So I guess that's why snow would do it. Although snow doesn't. Just snow's not cold enough.
Aye.
On its own.
It'll reflect the sun. That's the type of snow burn.
But if you're chucking snowballs about, came in your wee, you would pick up and
I think
it needs to be an
an
extreme temperature rather than just snow itself.
So I wonder if just thinking about the boy's question. So if you were to fall in the snow and put your hands out, then there's a chance there that you could scrape your hands, for example. Or like if you were to pick up a snowball and you were to like be throwing snowball after snowball after snowball, I think it's like all the ice crystals like scratching your hand rather than burning it. I think that's one phenomena.
I don't think that's right.
Google it.
Did you Google it?
No, I'm just trying to be confident.
I'll go check it later. I think, Kevin, you would chuck snowballs about for fucking hours, Ken. And what would happen is your hands would get redder and redder and redder as they would get colder. But eventually you get to the point where you're going, fuck, like you shake them and rub them on your tongue, Ken, whatever. Aye, under your pits, all the rest of it, just to get a bit of heat back in them. But they wouldn't even have like any damage done to them. They just warm back up and they'd get the colour back, circulation going back to them and all the rest of it, and then you're all right.
Maybe that was the act of smoothing it off. Like I wonder if like rugged sand, if you were to be sliding along it, if that would cut your hand up. It would. I know it would.
Well, if you effectively sandpapered yourself.
Aye.
Yeah. That would do some damage, please. Aye. That's 25 minutes up. Sorry about that, everybody. That's it. That's the end of the episode. Right, we'll be back soon with another one, which we'll record pretty much straight after this. So catch you next time.
Well, they trailed me down when I broke free. I drank all the whiskey in Tennessee. I don't drink water, no.